Standing Simmer here today, and welcome back to the channel for another build in The Sims 4. Now guys, this is my first build using anything at all related to the new pack, Get Famous, which of course, if you guys know, came out last week in the Sims community. Really excited about that. It's also my first build using anything in the way of terrain tools, which I'm excited to share it with you guys for like all of those reasons. I did experiment a little bit with terrain tools when they came out the day of the patch, but not in any building sense. Like I didn't build anything specifically that day. I was kind of still in a funk, you know, build inspiration wise, and I was really just kind of still struggling on that front. But what I did do the day that terrain tools came out is probably not super unique to what a lot of other people did at that time. I went to an empty lot. I think I was in Brindleton Bay or something. Went to an empty lot and like just made a whole bunch of hills. And then after I was done, you know, making hills to my heart's content, I made a lot of like sunken valleys, and we just kind of like had a good time just kind of messing around with some terrain tools. So anyways, this is, like I said, my first official build using both Get Famous and terrain tools. Now, terrain tool usage in this build is fairly minimal. Like there's not, it's subtle. I guess that's the word that I could say to use to describe it. But anyways, this is also my first real attempt at a mid-century modern house. I was kind of nervous about that when I found out that a lot of the style of some of the items here in this Get Famous pack, as far as build by goes specifically, when I found out that it was very mid-century modern inspired. I also heard the Sims team refer to it as California craftsmen. I'm not really familiar with either of those styles. I couldn't tell you the ways in which they differ. Regardless, I've never really attempted either that I know of. I could have accidentally, but it was accidentally. So this is my first real solid intentional attempt at mid-century modern. So if it looks a little crazy, it looks a little like, ooh, like kind of missing the mark, then that's definitely the reason why. I had a good time trying to put it together. I like attempting new styles. I like, you know, challenging myself in the build arena, because if you don't, I feel like you just end up building the same stuff over and over, and I really don't want to do that if I can avoid it. So I had a good time trying out something new, and I really like that this pack, it kind of challenges me in that arena. It forces me to, you know, push myself build wise, and I love the new items so much. To be fair, I have not yet really attempted anything on like the super high-end, very like bougie, I guess is a good word that you could use to describe it. I haven't really attempted anything on that front just yet. I've really just built with the more simple style items that came with the pack, like the mid-century modern style ones, but I love it so much. And I knew when I was watching things like the streams and the content that was released from Sims Camp and all that, I knew that when I saw all that stuff and when I saw these items in like little snippets throughout all those videos and all that content, I knew I would really like the items once I got my hands on them, especially because I like bowling night stuff as a pack. And obviously being that those two, like the retro style, that mid-century modern style, it all kind of goes really well together. I already knew I liked that as a pack, so I figured I would like this stuff when I got my hands on it, but it's confirmed, guys. In person, love this stuff so much. So what we are building today is, like I said, a kind of a sprawling mid-century modern home. I'm actually building it on the 50 by 40 in the cheaper version of the world. Is it called Mirage Park? I'm still just learning all these things. I got the pack on Friday. I'm recording this on a Sunday. You guys are probably seeing it, if you're seeing it, the day goes out on a Tuesday. But I've had the pack for a couple days. Still haven't learned all the world names just yet. I know that no, I can't even remember what the high-end place is called or anything like that. I'm still like just barely getting used to the pack and all of its forms, which makes sense. I mean, it just came out just a couple of days ago, but we are building a pretty, like I said, sprawling mid-century modern family home in Mirage Park. This is the biggest lot in Mirage Park. The other ones I think are 40 by 30s. To be fair, there are only 2 other lots in this area of the world, and I'm not going to go on the whole tangent of, man, this is such a small world, what were they thinking, because you guys have probably heard that from other people. And to be honest with you, I'm not super bothered by it. I think I understand why they chose to make it a smaller world. Now, to say that I wouldn't have wanted a larger world is an understatement. I would have enjoyed, getting something that was a little bit bigger, or perhaps had like more lots in each section, or had another neighborhood in addition to what they gave us that was a little bit more like mid-range. I guess though, depending on how you spin it and how you build it, this area of the world could be anywhere from low end to mid-range. It just kind of depends on what lots you put there. It's definitely more like probably no higher than middle class though, is kind of my thinking with this area of the world. So regardless, really excited to finally have my hands on this pack and to be building this. Man, it feels like I'm talking around this in circles, but the reason I built this house initially is because I need a new house for the Sims that are in my Family Dynamics challenge. And if you guys are keeping up with my LP, it's the only LP I have going on the channel at the moment. I will not be starting a Get Famous LP, but I'll try to get to an aspect of that here in just a second, just telling you guys. But I built this for the Taylor family, the members of the family of my Family Dynamics challenge. I released a makeover video of them sometime last week, and I am about to head into season 2 with that family. And I mentioned that I wanted to move them to Del Sol Valley and that I wanted to build them a new house because I knew I was going to want to be building when all this new stuff came out. And so this is the very first thing I built. I built this Friday night after I got home from work. So this is like my first impressions on everything. Like, I was getting my hands on the pack for the first time as far as build buy goes. So if there are any like little like pauses or anything weird going on in this, it's because A, first time getting my hands on the new pack, had to kind of explore everything. And then B, I was also watching a series of streams when I was building this as well. So I tried to edit out a lot of those kind of awkward little pauses. So if I missed one or something along those lines and you guys see me just kind of like pause in place for a second, sorry about that. I try to edit those out, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, the first impressions, like this is literally raw content coming from when I very first got my hands on the pack, which I'm excited about. So yeah, built for my Family Dynamics Challenge LP members, and I mean, they're kind of well established. My storyline there, which I'll explain more in the LP, which by the way, you should check out if you haven't yet. I really love that LP a lot. I think it's pretty exciting that it's the only LP on my channel, but it's one that I really, really enjoy playing, which for me is more valuable than like having a lot of LPs that I really don't care much about and I just kind of put out there. So I really love this LP, not just because it's a challenge that I helped write, but also because it's just a fun family to play. I love their story. So my kind of background for them is that they have been living over in Willow Creek. They have for a really long time, actually. So for the duration of Gen 1, pretty much, they've been living in Willow Creek, kind of raising their family. The Drew, the male of the couple, he is a doctor. Well, he's in the doctor career. I honestly don't know if he's made it to doctor yet. He's like close. He's for sure like on the RN status. We didn't max out his career because he's not my founder. But then his wife, Elise, who is my founder, she maxed out the culinary career. She's big into cooking and baking. She maxed the gourmet cooking skill kind of unexpectedly in the last episode. It wasn't even required and she did it. So they're this really cool couple, and they had 3 kids. The kids' names are Derek, Bradley, and Sabrina. Bradley and Sabrina are twins. Sabrina is my Gen 2 heir. So as far as the individuals who will be living in this house, I'm thinking that Derek, their oldest son, will be moving out with his girlfriend Luna Villarreal. So she's a townie that comes pre-existing in the world. They've been dating for a while now. I don't think that they'll be living here with us. However, if they need to at some point, there's some extra space for some like an extra bedroom or something along those lines. There's actually a lot of space in this house, which I love. Again, it's so big, it's so long, and you know, there was a lot of space to put some things in here. So however, I do not think that they'll be living with us. So I originally built this house with a family of like roughly 4 in mind, especially starting off. So Drew, Elise, Bradley, and Sabrina will all be living here. And we'll get to this part later, but you guys will see me kind of like furnishing a basement area. And I really don't know if basements are common in mid-century modern homes. I really have no idea. However, the rules for Generation 2 state that she has to live, or the heir has to live, in her parents' basement. So we had to have a basement because that's where Sabrina is going to be the vast majority of the time. Now, I did some pretty cool stuff down there that I'm really excited to show to you guys once we get to that point. However, for right now, we're just kind of working on the outside of the house. I was really, so this lot is massive, right? It's so big. And I was really intimidated when it came to landscaping it, for one thing. I was still just kind of getting used to the overall feel of the world. Like, obviously there are a bunch of palm trees, but there are also some more decorative trees that are used as kind of like hedges. And then there are just some random trees in there too, and I really wasn't sure exactly what to do with the landscaping in this lot. And so I was kind of just, you'll see me come and go with the landscaping quite a few times. So I do some of it when I'm starting off like the exterior of the house, then I go into the interior and do some stuff in the interior, then jump back outside, I think probably before I get to the basement. You guys will see me jump around on the landscaping a lot. I also left in some of the floor planning of this house, which is something I don't typically do with my houses. I kind of let you guys see me put together the floor plan as a whole, which again, kind of unique for me. I don't typically choose to do that, but from time to time I do like to throw it in there, just kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on there. I also didn't really exactly know like what kind of floor planning a mid-century modern home tended to have. Again, not super familiar with the style. I'm excited to be building something new, but I really was kind of just trying to figure it out. So if it's not like purely authentic mid-century modern, you'll just have to forgive me for that because it's not something I do all the time. But I did have a good time putting together what I thought a mid-century modern home would look like on the inside. And from what I've heard from other people who I've seen build in this style, a pretty open floor plan, especially in the living areas, is somewhat typical. So I was kind of trying to go for that and also just trying to make it so that it fit this family at the same time, if that makes any sense at all. So there's like this really cool basement area, and I decided that when I put in the basement where I thought it would fit according to like what the upstairs floor plan looked like, I thought it would be kind of a shame to miss the opportunity to connect the basement to the edge of the pool. So you guys saw me put in like a room that's kind of right outside the pool area and then some windows that look into the pool, which might not be realistic in the least. To be honest with you, I feel like I would see that more in a very high-end modern type home perhaps, but I thought I just really didn't want to waste the opportunity to make that room extra unique, because that room where the windows are leading into the pool is the room for my Gen 2 Air. So I just wanted something a little unique. I also wanted the opportunity to bring some natural light into the basement. That's one thing that kind of like just kind of, I don't know, it's one thing I definitely don't like as much about basements, is that you really don't have a lot of opportunity to get natural light. So I wanted it to take that chance if we had the chance, and we did. So now we're kind of moving on into the interior or thereabouts, and again, just had a great time putting together a lot of this interior. I love the bright colors of the mid-century modern style. I really enjoyed putting this together. It's almost like anything goes, you know? Now that probably isn't truly the case, but you can kind of act like it is, because if you're like putting together all of these items, rugs and tables and curtains and all this kind of stuff with bright colors, it's almost as if it's so crazy that it all works together. Now I tried to carry a similar color scheme throughout the entire living area, mainly inspired by the teal doors. I saw that first swatch of those, both the door that I use for the front and the back door, and I was in love. That was it, you know? Teal is my favorite color, like this combination of blue and green. It was one of my wedding colors. It has been my favorite color for a long time. And so of course I had to just pull that out of all these items that we got in this pack. And of course the items that we got in the bowling night pack as well, because I do use a good little bit of that here and there. Like probably not as dominantly as any of the other packs, but yeah, you'll see that a lot. So really enjoyed putting together that, like letting that teal color come through, because that's really just not a color you can use a lot in like your standard suburban home, for example, and kind of have a justification for it unless you're just really wanting to put together a crazy interior. So yeah, I like the fact that this style and these colors just kind of allow you to play with those colors, that it is acceptable to put together these kind of colors in the same build. So working on the living area, like I said, very open. I was kind of a little bit struggling as to like where to put everything and how to divide up the space, because that's my big struggle when it comes to open floor plans. That's another reason why I don't do modern super often. I am kind of a little nervous as to what modern styles I might end up putting together for like it's called the pinnacles. I couldn't think of the word earlier, but pinnacles, that very high-end area of this world. Like the area with all the views and all that kind of stuff. I keep seeing people build modern over there, but I don't know if that's what I want to do for that area, because it's not really a style I'm super comfortable with, and I do not think I could put together like several modern builds. and them look decent and unique and all that kind of stuff. So I might do something a little different with that area of the world. I'm not necessarily saying that I'm like rebuilding this world or anything like that, but I have already built this house, which is the largest lot in this area of the world, and I've also renovated the gym that's also in this world, which you guys will see later in the week if I get my act together for a speed build. I'm really excited to share that with you too because I like it a lot. But that's not this video, that's another video, hopefully coming later this week. We'll have to see. So one thing I did want to mention to you guys ever so quickly is that I was kind of mentioning earlier that I'm not going to be doing a Get Famous LP because one, I just don't have the time. Like, okay, so I know that not everybody is like this, but the way that I do my LPs, I'm not saying like I'm just this big old thing, believe me, but the way that I do my LPs is I record forever with like an hour plus. I record a long time each episode, and then I cut that episode down to like a watchable amount, so like somewhere in the 20 to 30 minute range, because I want to get a lot done in every episode because I don't want the series to last forever. So that's kind of the way that I do my LPs. I know that not everybody is like that, and everyone has their own different unique style with LPs, and I love that. With mine specifically, I like to cut mine down. So you'll see a lot of like more of the highlights of the gameplay versus just like, oh, let's sit here together on speed 3 and me just talk randomly while, you know, the Sims sleep. You know, that like I tend to just like skip things like that and just kind of move on to the like the big parts of the gameplay. So long story short, that means that it takes me a long time to both record and edit the episodes for an LP, and I just do not have time for another one on the channel. So not that you guys asked for that justification, but there you go. So there is kind of an alternative I have for that right now though, which is that if you guys have not heard yet, I am attempting is the key word there, to stream over on Twitch. As of the date of this recording, I've streamed 3 times technically, but the first time I didn't tell anybody about. So I streamed this past Thursday and then also on Saturday, and it's so much fun. Like, I really enjoy doing it. It's not something I can do a ton because I only have like a couple, that was my ankle popping there just now in case you heard that, but I only have like just very limited free time, especially during the week, that I can devote to something like that. But what we're doing over there is I had been playing with the current household prior to the Get Famous release, kind of just for fun. And then I decided to transition that household into my main, like, quote unquote, Get Famous household, because I could really see one of the members of that household becoming like an actor or an actress, and then the other one working up his way through the fame system with his writing. And so I kind of just transitioned them right over to Get Famous, and I've been playing them a lot here on stream. Actually, that's the main family that I've been playing on stream since I've officially started, and that's kind of turned into my version of a Get Famous LP. It's just Get Famous gameplay, basically. So if you guys want to follow me over on Twitch, I'll try to have that linked in the description so you guys can follow that on over there and give me a follow if you want to, because I will probably be playing with them a lot when it comes to stream. Now, the funny thing is that they're still really my current household. They're not exclusive to Twitch. So if you've been watching me over there with that family, just know that I've already progressed a good little bit of a way compared to what I was like during the streams this week. Because again, they're my main Get Famous family, and I want to explore the gameplay on my own as well as on stream, because I can't stream every day. So I do want to play that as much as I want to, and then share those in between times with you guys. So that's kind of my plan for them. That's honestly how I do like just about all of the gameplay on my channel. Like I mentioned earlier with the LP, well, the main reason that I cut the episodes down so much is that I'm playing a lot in the background. I also play a lot in between episodes, again, so that there's advancement in the series that happens a bit more quickly than just like us playing through a day or so on an LP and then that's it, you know, because then the series would last forever and I really don't want that. So guys, I've just totally rambled through the vast majority of the single floor level of the house furnishing. Now, as per usual, I did cut out me doing all the bathrooms. In fact, I didn't even record them at all. I kind of just like did those off camera and then started recording again. And so we, on that main floor of the house, we did a master bedroom, a room for the male twin, Bradley, who I mentioned earlier, who is really big into music. At least he's kind of about to head that way. He's in the entertainer career, but I did that off camera in between, like in this little hiatus period between seasons. So when we pick back up with him, he'll be like level 3 of the entertainer career, or maybe level 2, I can't remember now. So he's in the entertainer career, but he's going to be working toward the music aspect. So of course, I had to take the opportunity to put in that like DJ mixing table in his room, because I could totally picture him exploring that aspect of the new pack. And I'm really excited to do so, by the way. I was really excited when it came to a couple of choice like skill building items that this pack allowed, because they kind of fit seamlessly in with the goals that I have for this next generation anyway, and I didn't even plan it that way. Like, it was not intentional. When I was playing this LP and developing their characters, I had no idea that some of the things that Get Famous allows would fit in as well as they do. So I'm really excited that I decided to keep Bradley the twin to my heir in the household, at least for now. Even though he's a young adult, I mean, there's no reason why we should kick him out right away. And it's more fun to me to play with multiple Sims. Sometimes I go through phases and I just want to play with a single Sim. Like, I'm like, everybody get out of my household. I just want to play with one Sim. I just want to focus on a single person and nothing else. And everybody else is just a little bit hectic. But most of the time I enjoy somewhat larger households, like at least mid-range households. Now, talk about getting up into like the 8 Sim household range, I'll go crazy. Like, I just cannot do it. Especially if some of the members are younger, like toddlers specifically. Once they get up to child, they're not quite as high maintenance and you can kind of let them do their own thing. But especially if it was like an 8 Sim household with toddlers, no, just no. So anyways, I'm excited to be playing with those aspects of the new pack, even though, like I said, my heir is supposed to be kind of a loner. And that's actually one of her traits. She's a loner. She's going to be in the tech guru career, which we haven't joined just yet. I'm planning on doing that in the LP on the first episode of season 2. She's also supposed to be big into video gaming and programming. So when we do the basement area here in just a little bit, you guys will see me put in some aspects that are very akin to her interests. However, I also add in that new streaming station, or well, the new YouTube type, the recording station, the really cool, like, not quite L-shaped desk with all that equipment on it and all that kind of stuff. So I added that in because I feel like that is something I don't want to miss, being able to experience that with this Sim. And again, I'll explain all that on the first part of season 2. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of like word vomiting all over you guys right now. To be honest with you, it's been like a solid week and a few days since I recorded a voiceover, because this last week my schedule was a little bit, it was a little bit crazy in that I didn't want to be uploading just kind of my regular random content on days when like the embargo released, and then we had the Get Famous release 2 days later, and then it was the weekend and here we are. So I really just uploaded the first 2 days of the week on Monday and Tuesday, and they were some videos that I had planned to do anyway for the most part. So I didn't really just like push out my content like later in the week on my typical schedule, and I kind of tried to keep you guys updated with that, but then at the same time I wasn't just like, oh, you know, this is the schedule for this week. I sometimes do that, but then other times I'm like, you guys will figure it out. You know that I'm still here. I'm still putting out videos. I just on some weeks decide to do it a little bit differently than other weeks, especially weeks when a new pack is released, because it would just be too much for me to just try to put out videos when we are all very interested in the new Get Famous content. And if I didn't have Get Famous early, then kind of what's the point? Not to say that I don't think my videos are valuable, because the videos I put out, I've worked really hard on them and I'm proud of what I put out there for you guys, but I'm also not going to just throw them out there in the mix when there are other videos that we all kind of want to be watching anyway. So hope you guys are excited to be sort of back to regularly scheduled programming this week. That's kind of my plan right now. I don't exactly know how that will work, because obviously, like, in my free time here recently, I've been spending a lot of time playing with the new pack, and not just building and preparing content, but like just personal enjoyment for the new pack. And so I don't know if we'll quite get to like 4 videos this week, but I'm aiming for 3. We'll see. We will see. Speaking of which, if you do keep up with this LP, I'm planning on, like I said, all just good intentions. We'll see how this goes. I am planning on putting out another episode, the first episode of season 2, later on this week on the normal day, which is Friday. Don't hold me to that quite exactly this week. I still haven't even recorded it. We'll have to see how that goes. Sundays are a really crazy day for me, because typically, while they are my recording day, I don't have a ton of time available on Sundays. It's a really big family day for us. Like, we almost always have like birthday parties to go to, and like we're just all kinds kinds of stuff. Sunday is a day full of obligation for the most part. And so I don't have a lot of time at my house for the most part on Sunday, so we'll just have to see how this goes. Anyways, there's another little random schedule update that you guys didn't ask for, but we are down into furnishing the basement area. And like I told you guys, we did like this cool movie room type thing for the family, especially because the living area upstairs is very small and it's really nice for like a little sitting area. But if you want to like watch your movies and really hang out as a family, we've got that downstairs area. I also mentioned the office that I put that really cool desk in. I also set up this like little like recording background type thing, which I was really proud of. I don't know if that will interrupt the functionality of that item. I've not played with that item just yet. But I was also thinking about maybe sizing down the green screen and putting it behind that area instead, because my sim is kind of more on the gamer front than like the vlogger front. So the green screen might work a little bit better. But anyways, and then of course, like putting together the really cool room that she will inhabit that overlooks the pool area. But yeah, guys, I think I am gonna go ahead and just slowly, ever so slowly, begin wrapping up the voiceover here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today for my mess of a voiceover, kind of getting back into recording longer voiceovers for YouTube. Now, this house is available on the gallery and you're more than welcome to check that out. That information should be in the description below if you'd like to take a little look at that. Let me know, guys, what you think of this build and if you're excited about the new pack and what you've done with the new pack so far, because I love hearing what other people are doing with their gameplay, because I'm just nosy like that. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up right here. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you're having the best of days, and I will see you very soon. Bye!